Naruto and Sasuke, two names that are forever tied together in anime history. Their rivalry is more than a battle between friends. It is the story of bonds, loss, pain, and redemption. Over the course of a Naruto series, their clashes weren't just fights. They were turning points that shaped the destiny of the shinobi world. Today, we're going to walk through every major battle between Naruto Uzumaki and Sasuke Uchiha, breaking down their fights, the emotions behind them, and why this rivalry is considered one of the greatest in anime. The first battle recorded was the hospital rooftop clash. Our story begins after Sasuke's growing frustration. He had always seen himself as the genius of Team 7, but after the battle with Gaara during the Chunin exams, Sasuke realized something painful. Naruto was catching up to him. The boy who once lagged behind was now standing shoulder to shoulder. By the time Sasuke recovers in the hospital, his jealousy has grown into rage. When Naruto visits, things spiral. Sakura watches helplessly as Naruto and Sasuke face each other on the rooftop. Sasuke demands to measure their strength. Naruto answers with determination. What followed was not just a spar. It was the moment their rivalry turned dangerous. Rasengan against Chidori, two attacks of equal power that could kill. The collision could have ended both their lives. If not for Kakashi's timely intervention, the history of Naruto could have changed right there. This rooftop clash showed us two things. Naruto was no longer the underdog, and Sasuke was no longer satisfied being left behind. The next battle was at the Valley of the End, also known as the Part 1's final battle. The rooftop clash was just the spark. The true explosion came during the Sasuke retrieval arc. Orochimaru's lure became too strong, and Sasuke decided to defect from the Hidden Leaf. He sought power at any cost. To Naruto, this was a betrayal not just of their team, but of their bond as brothers. The chase ended at the Valley of the End, the very place where Hashirama Senju and Madara Uchiha fought generations before. The stage was set for destiny. The fight began with words. Naruto begging Sasuke to return. Sasuke coldly rejecting him. Then fists flew. This wasn't just a clash of jutsu. It was emotion poured into every strike. Naruto tapped into the Nine Tails chakra, his speed and strength skyrocketing. Sasuke countered with his Sharingan, reading every move. As the fight escalated, Sasuke awakened his curse mark, transforming into something monstrous. Naruto responded with more of the Nine Tails chakra, their powers clashing in ways that threatened to tear the valley apart. The final moment came with Rasengan versus Chidori once more. This time, there was no Kakashi to stop them. The valley shook. Water exploded. The result was clear. Sasuke stood victorious, but at a cost. Instead of killing Naruto as Itachi had ordered, Sasuke chose to walk away, leaving Naruto unconscious and broken. This fight is often considered one of the greatest in anime history. Not because of the spectacle, but because of the emotion. It wasn't about who was stronger. It was about two brothers forced to fight on opposite paths. In the next encounter, we're now in Naruto Shippuden after the Tenchi bridge with Orochimaru. Years passed. Naruto trained under Jiraiya. Sasuke under Orochimaru. When Team Kakashi infiltrated Orochimaru's hideout, the long-awaited reunion happened. But this was not the same Sasuke. His eyes burned colder, his aura darker. Naruto rushed forward with hope, but Sasuke crushed it with ease. Without breaking a sweat, he overwhelmed Team 7. Even when Naruto tapped into the Nine Tails, Sasuke suppressed it with sheer force of will. This encounter wasn't a fight of equals. It was a reminder that Sasuke had chosen a path that pushed him far ahead of his old comrades. And yet, Naruto's determination remained unbroken. He swore once again that he would bring Sasuke back. On to the next encounter. This was after the Kage Summit confrontation. When Sasuke attacked the 5 Kage Summit, his descent into darkness was nearly complete. By now, he was consumed by hatred. When Naruto confronted him after, it wasn't about fists or jutsu. It was about ideology. Sasuke declared his intent to destroy everything. Naruto refused to give up on him. Though this was not a full battle, the tension between them was more explosive than ever. It set the stage for their inevitable final clash. Now to the final encounter. The final battle at the Valley of the End. At last, the moment arrived. The Fourth Great Ninja War was over. Kage was sealed. Peace seemed within reach. But Sasuke had one last move. He would not allow the cycle of hatred to end without destroying the current system. He declared himself ready to become the enemy of the world, and that meant facing Naruto one last time. Once again, they stood at the Valley of the End, the same place as their first decisive battle. But now, they were stronger than ever. The fight was godlike. Susanoo against Kurama, lightning against wind, fire against shadow clones. Every exchange was on a scale beyond imagination. Yet even through the destruction, there were moments of raw taijutsu, fist against fist, a reminder that underneath the power, they were still just two boys who once shared dreams. The climax came with the final clash. Rasengan against Chidori, just like before. But this time, both poured everything into the strike. The valley was left scarred. Both warriors lay on the ground, missing an arm, their bodies broken. But in that brokenness came understanding. For the first time, Sasuke admitted defeat not by strength, but by heart. He acknowledged Naruto's unyielding spirit, the bonds he refused to abandon. The rivalry that began in childhood ended not with victory, but with reconciliation. Do you know that the Naruto-Sasuke rivalry isn't just about battles? It is about ideology. Naruto represented bonds, hope, and perseverance. Sasuke represented pain, solitude, and vengeance. Every fight was a reflection of this clash. In the hospital, it was jealousy. At the Valley of the End, it was rejection. At the reunion, it was a test of conviction. At the summit, it was ideology. At the final battle, it was reconciliation. This progression is what makes their rivalry timeless. Unlike many anime rivalries, this wasn't about who was stronger. It was about two people walking different paths, yet tied together by destiny. When we look back, it's no exaggeration to say Naruto and Sasuke's story is the heart of the series. Their battles were not just spectacles. They were the soul of Naruto. And that is the story of Naruto and Sasuke's rivalry. From rooftop to valley, from brotherhood to enmity, and finally to reconciliation. Their fights remain some of the most emotional and legendary in anime history. Which of these battles was your favorite? Do you think their rivalry surpasses Goku and Vegeta, or is in a league of its own? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to subscribe, because next time, we'll be diving into another legendary battle, Jiraiya versus Pain.